morning. Someone tell me how many dogs get to sleep like this every night. Diagonal in the bed with their own little pillow.
Under the covers?
Under the covers.
I just see them. Oh.
Like, look at them. It's like, yeah, I hike like 5-6 miles a day and then come in and just set up shop wherever in my parents' bed. Rach turned the heat on this morning when she got up to use the bathroom. It wasn't like super cold in here, but 54. It was like 54. It was 54. Yeah. Which is like sleeping at a 10. We were in the casino parking lot. We slept last night. It was a good night's sleep. Didn't hear anything. Couple planes before we went to bed. We've been out in the desert in the mountains for what, 2 weeks now? Yeah, so gonna get up. I got up at 5 o'clock and was just ready to go. I should have just hopped on the laptop and got some stuff done, started my workout, but I kind of just laid here and took it easy. Gonna make some coffee, let him out. So excited. Oh, big stretch. Stretch those rusty bones. Take down this window cover. Good morning. Sun's still coming up. Okay, let's go over this way. Good morning. Good morning officially now that I can actually speak and I'm up and my cylinders are firing. At least 5 out of the 6 of them now. It was probably like 2 or 3 when I first woke up. Can you guys imagine waking up and like you have to walk around for 15 minutes? Like you haven't peed all night, but you have to walk around for 15 minutes before you find the perfect spot to only let out half of your pee. And then you gotta move around and sniff around for another 10 minutes before you find another spot to let out half of your pee. And then for another 5 minutes, you look around for the perfect spot to go potty number 2 and go poop. Could you imagine that ritual every single morning? I mean, I'm talking it could be negative 20 degrees with wind chill and Zeke's just like, that spot is not gonna work for me this morning. Nope, that spot's not gonna work either. Oh, I'll let out a little pee here, but not all of it. And oh man, what a trip. And just pulling dad all around, yeah. And you know, now he feels restrained. I mean, he's like, why am I on a leash? It's been 2 weeks of me just roaming around out in the desert. X marks the spot. Okay, let's go. Find your second spot. Oh, right there. Wow, see? I mean, it's like the morning ritual. There's a pee, then there's a poop, then there's a second pee, sometimes a third pee. Like, better save a little bit in the tank in case I smell something I need to mark on the way back to the house. Camper. We've had that spot before. That's almost like a campground spot. You got those saguaros back there, and it's a nice little spot there. Go and throw his poop away. Good boy. Oh, you could use the tea kettle, babe.
About it, I guess. How far are we from Sweetwater? Like 25 minutes?
Yeah, probably traffic for the next hour, so it'll be rowdy. It's okay.
Yeah, so I guess.
Warming up the claws.
70 degrees in here. I act like I'm just...
Yeah, just cold. I explained this in another video, but I'll explain it a little better here. I'll actually use a light. So the diesel heater outlet is down there. The diesel heater is here. Turn this on to 6. That's as high as it goes. Don't mind the dog hair and sand and stuff, because this is the front where Zeke's bed is. So then the outlet is right here, and I just pull that off and point this up. Take the window covers down. And now I will shut this up, and it'll defog all this so that we don't just have to sit here and idle the engine, and then the cab will be nice and toasty for us to drive. Pretty sweet. Yogurt balls. Yum yum.
Coffee.
And some mud to get the day going, eh? Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna have my breakfast, sip on my coffee. Rach, you got anything? You gonna get logged into work?
Yeah, it's almost that time.
So we've had this harness the whole time, and we usually just would bring it if we were running around and he was gonna pull. I gotta sneeze, of course, right when I start fuming. It's not gonna go. I did install a seat belt now, so there's a buckle there, and then come down. Good boy. Good boy. If I can get it on there, and then the latch is on there, so that our boy is safe. All right, we're gonna head to Sweetwater Preserve and do some mountain biking. I think the casino said, hey, you know, we've been having riffraff, people dumping tanks. They basically said as long as you're in a big RV, they're cool with it, which is weird. I don't know what their gauge of who can and who can't.
He was very concerned that, first I thought he meant if you're in a big RV, you can't stay here. And I said, oh, don't worry, ours is only like 23 feet long. And he said, no, the bigger the better. And I'm like, yeah, well, what would that mean? And he said, well, the bigger it is, the more built out and accommodating it is. And I'm like, what are you getting at? And he said, we don't want people sleeping in their cars. And
yeah,
I'm like,
so that's what I was saying in the sense of homelessness.
Right, and
I mean, it makes sense.
But like, yeah,
it doesn't look good for business when the casino has extended parking lot that's just dilapidated, rundown vehicles, and that's not me judging, saying you have to drive a Sprinter van or a diesel pusher to enjoy the lifestyle. But if you're a business and you're offering a free service and there's riffraff. When we were here last year, there was 2 pretty rundown RVs. But that's just how it goes. And I mean, I don't blame people. You know, some people, as I've said in other videos, Rach and I are doing this by choice. Like, we love the lifestyle. This isn't a case of where we can't go rent an apartment or we're placed out of housing, and we're very grateful for that. But there are certainly people that are doing this because they have, it's a means of survival. I mean, and then to want to have a safe place to park but not be able to afford a campground, not have your stuff stolen and your vehicle broken into. It's sad, man. Like, the United States has changed a lot in the sense of cost, and we ran into a lady last night. Her name was Sheila, a super nice lady. I'd say in her 60s, I guess, I don't know for sure. And she's living in her vehicle kind of in the sense of where she's like, I lived in Sedona and I was priced out. It's way too expensive there. I'm on Social Security. By the time I paid all my bills, there was no money left over to do anything fun, get outside and hike and enjoy nature. So this is what I'm going to do. And We talked to her, and Zeke and her dog played for a while. We talked to her for probably a half an hour. But yeah, we're gonna head to Sweetwater Preserve, do some mountain biking. Rach has a call at 10 o'clock, and we'll see where the day takes us. We'll keep you posted. I swear you need an education, like a degree just on promotions and how things work and all this stuff. There's so many bait and switches. So we signed up for the card. Okay, it did take it off. So we were supposed to get 25 cents off a gallon. They said in there it wasn't coming off. Then he explained this whole thing of where if I buy a gift card and put $100 on it, then I'll get 10 cents off a gallon doing it that way. And then I said, okay. And he said it might take it off at the pump. Then I said, okay, well, if I buy the gift card, then I won't get the cash price of the 10 cents off. And he said, there is no cash price. That's if you use Easy Pay with a debit card linked to this and that. And I was just like, dude, it's like the most wild stuff.
The website promotion we had, and it's 5 fill-ups.
Yeah, right. It worked. It took 25 cents. That's 320. She was telling me it should have came off in there. It wasn't coming off in there. We went to another register. She said it's still not coming off. This guy comes up. He goes, what's going on? I explain it, and he goes, it's not going to take it off in here. And I said, oh, well, she was saying, and she didn't know, stuff all over this lens.
They have a ton of promotions when you go on the app. You can see
well, yeah, you should have saw or heard the deal in there. The Don Julio. Oh, I gotta go get changed. I would have just left. So we put, I check the oil regularly. It's still on the dipstick. It's a little, it was at about half, but we have put 22 or 2,300 miles on. So it's not terrible, just below half, but I'll put a little in there. I just grabbed a quart at Walmart. I usually use some nicer stuff, but since we're gonna do a full oil change, the reviews were fine and it's synthetic, so I figure I'll just top her off a little. And depending on where we go this trip, I may be doing an oil change on the road in an auto parking lot, like an auto zone or something. Last time it was auto zone. Really, like I said, it was within the parameters of where it was safe. It was a notch above minimum. Just under half, so it would have been good, but I like as a ballpark keeping it right at the half mark. It's kind of just what I do. I'm not OCD, but with mechanical stuff like that, I want it dialed in. Looks like that coolant flange that I did right before we hit the road, this guy here appears to be dry, so that's good. We were having a hard starting issue, and come to find out that's what it was. It was that thermostat. I've had that happen in some Audis. But I wouldn't have thought anything of this Sprinter until it started leaking, and once we put that in, it fires up right away. So I think what it did was, with getting like a faulty reading on the thermostat housing, it would mess with the fuel mixtures and then was kind of flooding it out, or just not yeah, the air to fuel mixture ratio or something, I don't know. This place is beautiful, so this is where I'm gonna go ride, Sweetwater Preserve. If you guys are ever in Tucson, highly would recommend checking it out. Saguaros are huge. Go up in there, it's a beautiful day. It's like 67 degrees. It doesn't look like we caught bloom. Last year when we were here, there was an early bloom and all the yellows where it was super vibrant and beautiful. So that's that. We will do that. Someone wants to go out though, so I should probably give him just a little stroll around the hibiscus. Come on, let's go. We're not playing. After playing with all these dogs all over, he sees a dog now and he's just like full throttle. Let's play, let's play. He was having fun when we were at Indian Bread. He met up with Floyd, the couple we met from Iowa, and he's played with their dog and hiked all over, so he gets super excited about that. And then he met another dog by the name of Willow that he was just having a blast with. Come on. This place is gorgeous. These saguaros are so cool. Some of these are so tall. They're like 20, 25 feet tall probably, if not more. Super cool. But yeah, I've really enjoyed stopping by this place the last I think 3 years in a row. We stop by here and I ride my bike, and then Rachel and I will go on a hike with Zeke. We only drove like 30-35 minutes, but I figured, you know, it's only fair get him out for a little bit, walk him around. He's hating the leash because he's been used to just being out where we're camping, where he can just roam around and do whatever he wants. Yeah, so I cut it off. Rach had a work phone call, so I had to quit recording, but we were pulling out of the Circle K, and probably 2 minutes down the road, I could see something in the road, looked like a squirrel or a rabbit dead, and then there was a dog right next to it, probably a husky or about Zeke's size. Oh, it just makes you sick, really just sad. I'll save you guys the dash cam footage. There's no reason to put that in. Really no reason to tell the story either, but as a dog owner, we've seen that in our travels handful of times. Texas, I think we saw, what do they call these things? Jumping churros, I think. Someone correct me, I'm probably not right. I have ran into those on my bike or caught them with my leg, and you almost need a pliers to get those things out. Zeke actually had an accident where we were playing ball out in the desert. Leave it. I don't know what kind of poop that is. And oh, poor guy, just like this. He jumped on those and, hey, stay out of there, dude. Might have another encounter I don't have a pliers with. You literally had to use a pliers to pull them out. They just stick right into you. So yeah, I think it was Texas, we saw a couple of deceased dogs on the side of the road, and it's sad. Wow, just look at those things. Beautiful. Super cool. That's another perk. I say this a lot and you guys are probably getting sick of it, but the perk to van life is the fact that we just get to do this. Like all of these familiar places, new places, and since we visited these numerous times, they feel like home. We're like, oh, we're in Tucson, we're in Phoenix, we're home for, you know, this chapter, and then we'll branch off, and we're so excited to go into Utah and Colorado towards the end of the trip. And when I say trip, I mean 3 months, roughly. We have a wedding back home. But yeah, it's super unique. No one really tells you that this can be a chapter of your lives or your life, where you can just kind of do this, float around, explore, see new places. I mean, that's what life's all about. We're designed to be out in nature and spending time with our furry friends and significant others, and not overcomplicating everything and spending an abundance of money on stuff that you don't need and doesn't bring you happiness, that pulls you away from doing things that actually bring you immense joy, such as being outside, fresh air, vitamin D, and just looking at the beautiful terrain of all these new and different places, you know, being in the ocean, being in the mountains, being in the desert, the high desert, the low desert, the woods back home. You know, it's, you're out west for a while and then like in this dry climate, and then you go to grass, just regular like maintained grass that you can take your socks off and walk around, and you're like, wow, this is cool. Makes you appreciate it that much more. Cool. All right, I'm gonna put this thing away, walk him for a little bit longer, keep some juice in the GoPro batteries for when I bike. I got my nice bike with, so funny story, last time we were out here, yeah, I think it was last time, I bought burner bikes. I didn't want one of our bikes to get stolen or the locks cut, like when we were at a trailhead hiking. So I just bought a junk bike. That thing was terrible out here. The shock was non-existent. Funny. This will be a good stop. Good spot to stop, like just do a quick pan and kind of walk through these. And one more time, Sweetwater Preserve, Tucson, Arizona. If you find yourself in the area, our friend Connor, who we met and went to Europe with, I say this in almost every video, but we met him while traveling. We were in Sedona, he was camping, went to Europe with him for a backpacking, or like a trip where we lived out of backpacks. And when he was in Tucson going to school here, he showed us this place and we hung out with him for like a week. Thanks, Connor, nice find. I don't know what you guys want. If you'd rather, leave a comment. I know everyone's different, but would you rather I just, come on. I make these videos to reflect on them, you know, 10, 15 years from now, but obviously I'm posting them publicly to where, I mean, they are for friends, family, and people that want to tag along for the adventure. Let me know what you like. Do you like less talking, me not rambling? I won't be offended. If you'd rather, you know, everyone's different. Maybe you just want the camera mounted to my head and me walking through all these different terrains with Zeke. Yeah, so leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Hope you guys are having a great day.